Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to the 19th episode of Pariprashna. So, this episode is quite special. And why is it so special? Because we are starting a new series, Srimad Bhagavatam series. So, when Krishna comes in the form of a forest, it is called Naimisharanya. When Krishna comes in the form of a mountain, he is Giri Govardhan. When he comes in the form of sound, it is Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And when he comes in the form of a book, a scripture, it is Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is not just a scripture, but it is often referred to as the king of all scriptures, and it is the literary incarnation of Krishna himself. Through its captivating pastimes, profound philosophy, and timeless lessons, Srimad Bhagavatam bestows us with the ultimate gift, and that is Krishna Prema, love of Godhead. So I would like to quote a shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam itself, from Canto 1, Chapter 5, Shloka 11. Tadvag visargo janatagha viplavo yasmin pratishlokamabhaddhavatyapi नामान्यनन्तस्य यशोऽङ्कितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः. On the other hand, that literature which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, form, and pastimes of the unlimited Supreme Lord is a transcendental creation meant for bringing about a revolution in the impious life of a misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literature, even though irregularly composed, is heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is meant to create a revolution. So, I hope and pray that the Srimad Bhagavatam series creates a revolution in our hearts, in our communities, and the entire world at large. And it is also said the magic of Srimad Bhagavatam truly comes alive when we hear it sincerely, humbly from a lover, a devotee who is a lover of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is our immense good fortune that by the mercy of Krishna and Srila Prabhupada, that we are able to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from His Grace Kamala Lochan Prabhu, who is not only a lover of Srimad Bhagavatam, but a liver of Srimad Bhagavatam. His whole life is a testament to the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. And I'm an example of how, simply by hearing his classes, and that too virtually most of the times, that I have been able to kindle the love of Srimad Bhagavatam in my heart simply by hearing to his classes. So I hope and pray again that by this series, through this series of Pariprashna, Srimad Bhagavatam series, may it kindle the love of Srimad Bhagavatam in all of our hearts. And I will not say that we will fall in love, but maybe all together rise in love with Srimad Bhagavatam. So, with that, let us continue to inquire about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. And if time permits, we will also cover the first few shlokas of Chapter 1, Canto 1 of Srimad Bhagavatam by inquiring from His Grace Kamala Lochan Prabhu. So, Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Krishna.
So, Prabhu, I would like to first of all thank you after doing a phenomenal job of helping us understand Srimad Bhagavad-gita in such a systematic way. You have kindly accepted to do Srimad Bhagavatam series also. So, I'm extremely grateful and looking forward to this series, Prabhu. So, thank you very much for kindly accepting. So, Prabhu, in the introduction of Bhagavad-gita, the 1972 edition of Srila Prabhupada, I just want to quote what he has written. The Bhagavad Gita is the preliminary study of the science of God. Next is Srimad Bhagavatam, which is graduate study. And then Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is the postgraduate study of spiritual knowledge. So what qualifies Srimad Bhagavatam as the graduate study, Prabhu?
Where Bhagavad Gita ends, the Bhagavatam starts. Bhagavad Gita ends with Krishna telling Arjuna, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Rajaham Tvam Sarvapebhyo Mokshayishyami Masacha. Krishna tells Arjuna, you surrender to me. Now, Bhagavatam starts with Dharma Projita Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmatsarana Satam. So, where Bhagavatam ends, that is Sarvadharman Parityaja, Bhagavatam starts. Bhagavad-gita ends with Sarvadharman Parityaja, and Bhagavatam starts with Dharma Projita. So, the Dharma, which is connected to the body, bodily Dharma, which is Kaitaba Dharma, which is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, which is known as the Purusharthas in the Vedas, they have been completely uprooted in the Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam starts where Gita ends. And also, it is only instruction which Krishna gave to Arjuna. Sarvadharman Parityaja, Mamekam Sharanam Raja. You just take shelter of me, giving up all kinds of religion. Now, how to execute that principle? Krishna told what to do, and Bhagavatam says how to do. So in this way, Bhagavatam expands on what Krishna has told. How to surrender, like Parikshit Maharaj surrendered, Dhruva Maharaj surrendered, Bhishma surrendered, Prahlad Maharaj surrendered, and ultimately Gopis surrendered to Krishna. So Gita says, the instructions of Krishna is instruction by Krishna. And how to execute that instruction, that Bhagavatam talks with examples. Not only how to do, but also inspiring us to do. Like Bhagavad-gita, Krishna says that Antakalecha Mameva Sparam. Okay, how to do? Like Bhishma did. So without Bhagavatam, it is difficult to execute the orders of Krishna in the Bhagavad-gita. That is why Srila Prabhupada, he had Bhagavatam classes in the morning and Bhagavad-gita classes in the evening. And he bases the entire ISKCON based on these two books, the Bhagavad-gita and the SrimadBhagavatam.
Wonderful, Prabhu, fantastic. So, Prabhu, Srimad Bhagavatam, what is the literal meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam?
Bhagavata yena uditaha Bhagavata means the Bhagavatam is something which is spoken by Krishna. So that is called Bhagavatam. Of course, there are many other understandings of this word Bhagavatam. It is also implies that something spoken about Bhagavan, that is also called Bhagavatam.
Okay.
So Bhagavatam is about Krishna. Not only it is about Krishna, but it is by Krishna too, because the original 4 verses of Bhagavatam are spoken by Krishna. So in general terms, you can say Bhagavad-gita is by Krishna and Bhagavatam is about Krishna. Though Bhagavatam is also by Krishna, but it has been expanded. The 4 verses of Bhagavatam which is spoken by Krishna, the Brahma, he expanded into more than 200 verses to Vyasa, to Narada, and Narada expanded to Vyasa, and Vyasa spoke to Sukadeva Goswami, and then again Sukadeva Goswami expands it to Naimisharan Rishis. So Srimad Bhagavatam is called Bhagavatam because it is spoken by Krishna and also it is spoken about Krishna. That is why it is known as Srimad Bhagavatam.
Beautiful indeed. So, Prabhu, when talking about Vedic scriptures, it's a wide spectrum. There are the 4 Vedas, there are the Itihasas, Upanishads, Puranas. So, we say Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapurana. So, first of all, if you could please enlighten us, what is Purana and why Srimad Bhagavatam is specifically called Mahapurana?
In the whole category of scriptures, there are 3 prasthanas. One is known as the Shruti Prasthana, Smriti Prasthana, and Nyaya Prasthana. That is why Vedic literatures are known as Prasthana Traya. The Shruti Prasthana are the original 4 Vedas, which includes all the Samhitas, the Aranyakas, the Brahmanakas, and the Upanishads. Among the 4 sections of the Shruti Prasthana, which is the original Veda, which never changes in Swara and Krama, the most important part of this is Upanishads. They are known as Vedanta, the end of the Vedas, because that talks about how to get out of this world. Whereas other parts of the Vedic literatures, they talk about how to live in this world. They talk about how to live in this world. But the Upanishads, they talk about how to get out of this world. Now, the Upanishads are presented by Vyasa in the sutra format, that becomes Vedanta Sutra.
Mhm.
In Vedanta Sutra, Vyasa has refuted all the atheistic philosophies based on Vedic literatures, based on Upanishads. Prajnaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Purimamsa, Uttarimamsa, the Mayavad aspect. Now, we have the Vedanta Sutras, which is the abridged or the condensed in a sutra format presentation of Upanishads. Now, it is not very easy to understand the Vedas. It is not very easy to understand Upanishads. So, to bring people closer to the understanding of the Vedas, Vyasa wrote the Puranas and the Itihasas.
Mhm.
Now, there are a category of people who would say that we accept the original four Vedas, but not the Puranas and Itihasas. That is why Srila Prabhupada, he knew that there will be people, or there are many people who think Bhagavad-gita being part of Mahabharata, being part of the Smriti Prasthana, they would not keep that Bhagavad-gita at par with Upanishads. That is why Srila Prabhupada says Bhagavad-gita is also known as Gita Upanishad, to show that it is not just another Upanishad, it is the essence of all the Upanishads. So this thing was not only known to Prabhupada, but also known to Sripad Shankaracharya. That is why it is he who turned Bhagavad Gita as Gita Upanishad. Now, coming back to the Puranas and Itihasas, they are nothing but explanation of the Upanishads. Now, all the Upanishads, they talk about the Supreme Brahman. Who is that Supreme Brahman? Is nothing but Krishna. That is established in the Upanishads, established in the Puranas. Puranas, they are called Puranas because Purnayati iti Purana. The thing which completes the meaning of the Veda, Purna, means complete. Like you have a golden ring, and some part of the golden ring which is has a clip kind of thing that is missing. So you can complete it only by a golden piece. It cannot be completed with an iron piece. So Srila Jiva Goswami establishes this point saying that Puranas complete the meaning of the Vedas. So they are also Veda, number one. Number two, they are superior to the Vedas because it is with the Puranas you can complete the understanding of the Vedas. Now we may say there are so many Puranas. There are 18 Puranas, and each Purana talks about incidents in a different way. They talk different deities as a supreme. How to understand that? So for that, we refer to all the Puranas. We'll find every Purana practically glorifies one Purana called the Bhagavad Purana. So we have the Puranas talking about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. We have the Purana, Garuda Purana talks about the glories of Bhagavatam by saying that Arthoyam Brahmasutranam. Artho Ayam Brahmasutrana. Ayam means this Bhagavatam is Artha. It talks about the meaning of the Brahma Sutras. Without Brahma Sutras, without Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahma Sutras cannot be understood. In other words, even though you have Vedanta Sutras, you have Brahma Sutras, by studying the Vedanta Sutras, you cannot understand Vedanta Sutras. You can understand Vedanta Sutras only by studying Srimad Bhagavatam. There is no use of studying Vedanta Sutras until unless we study Srimad Bhagavatam. Arthoyam Brahmasutranam Bharatarthavinirnayah. Not only that, Mahabharata. You may say, oh, Mahabharata is there, I will study Mahabharata and understand the Vedas. No, it is not possible because you can only understand the Mahabharata, or you can only come to the conclusion what Mahabharata is saying by studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Without studying Srimad Bhagavatam, the conclusions of the Mahabharata also cannot be understood. Arthoyam Brahmasutranam Bharatartha Vinirnayah. And then comes Gayatri Bhasharup also. Gayatri Bhasharup also. Suppose somebody is chanting Gayatri. he will get the benefit of chanting only when somebody studies Bhagavatam. So that is how the Bhagavatam has a very special position among all the Puranas. Because all the Puranas glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. And the Purana talks about the glories of Bhagavatam, saying that if somebody doesn't have Bhagavatam in their house, even though he is a Brahmana, he is a Supachopi Adamaha. He is very low class than a person who eats dog eaters. One is born in a dog eater's family. A Brahmana is worse than them if he doesn't have Bhagavatam in his house. So like that, not one or two, practically all the Puranas, they talk about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is, the Bhagavatam is called mahapurana. Interestingly, all the Puranas, Puranam Panchalakshanam. The Puranas, they have 5 Lakshanas. Now, Bhagavatam has 10 Lakshanas. There are 10 subject matters in Bhagavatam. Sarga, Visarga, Sthana, Poshana, Manvantara, Nishanakata, Nirodho, Mukti, Ashvayaha, Muti. So these are the 10 subject matters of Srimad Bhagavatam. In these 10 subject matters of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a speciality, Ishanukata, the kata of the incarnations of Krishna. And Krishna's pastimes have been placed in 2 different categories. So Bhagavatam has its own speciality because it has 10 subject matters. That is why it is called Mahapurana.
Okay. So, Prabhu, Srimad Bhagavatam is not only called Mahapurana, but it is also called Amala Purana. Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. So, why is this Bhagavatam called Amala Purana? Is there Mala, dirt in other Puranas?
Yeah, this is a very confidential subject matter within the Narada Vyasa Samvad. We know that Narada, when he appeared, Vyasa was not very happy. Actually, Vyasa, after writing all the Vedas, all the Puranas, including Srimad Bhagavatam, he has written Brahmasutras, he has written Mahabharata, the Itihasas. In spite of writing all these things, he was not satisfied. And he was sitting on the bank of river Saraswati as if he has not done anything. And he was contemplating, Vyasa was contemplating, why is it that there is so much of dissatisfaction in my heart? In spite of I writing all these Puranas and Itihasas, then this point came to his mind that maybe I have not described the glories of Krishna, Krishna's pastimes, as much as it should have been done. At that time, Narada arrives. Then Vyasa, he gets up and then receives Narada and then makes him sit on Vyasasana. Of course, elevated seat. He said Vyasasana, Vyasa made Narada sit on Naradasana maybe. Elevated seat. Vasinam. Then he worshipped Narada with Vidivat as he would worship Brahma. Then Narada saw Vyasa and directly asked this question. Vijñāsamtītam cha brahmayatattvana sanatanam tatapi sochasyattvana kritarthaiva prabhu. Hey, what happened to you? You've written the entire Mahabharata. And to the extent anybody wants to, any kind of knowledge, everything is in Mahabharata. But still you are sitting as if you are not done anything. Then somebody may say you are not spoken spiritual knowledge. Yes, you have spoken spiritual knowledge. Brahma ettat sanatanam. Jijnasitam aditam chan, to the extent you can, anybody can inquire about the Supreme Lord. All the inquiries are nicely satisfied in Brahma Sutras. But still, tatapi, in spite of this, you are sitting as if you have not done much. So why is it so? Then Vyasa tells Narada, you are my guru. You are X-ray eyes. You know better about what's happening in your disciple, my heart, than anybody else. I am a patient, you are the doctor. So doctor should know better about the patient than the patient himself. So then you speak. Why is it so? You tell. I am surrendered to you. You are the Supreme Lord. Tamagada bodham. You know everything, and I am avyaktam, I don't know what's happening in my heart. Then Narada clearly tells Vyasa, in spite of you writing all the Vedic literatures, all the Upanishads, all the Puranas, including Bhagavatam, you are not actually glorified Krishna enough. You should write a scripture which has got these three fundamental features. Every word should glorify Krishna. Number two, that scripture should show that bhakti is superior to mukti. Bhakti is superior to mukti. This point has to be specifically shown. And number three, every akshara in the Bhagavatam should actually be with the only intention of giving Krishna prema. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha should not be the primary subject matter. You should not add dharma, artha, kama, moksha in that book as a goal of life. Whereas in other Puranas, you have mentioned, you have given prominence to dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Though you spoke about bhakti, but still you spoke about these three, these four, the way the purusharthas, which are actually bala, which is actually ignorance. So you write a book where dharma projita, not only dharma, artha, kama, moksha, even moksha should be disregarded in that book. That is why Salokya Srashtra Samipya, this verse comes in the Bhagavatam. Dhiyamanam na grinanti, even though the devotees are given moksha, the four kinds of moksha. The fifth one, of course, devotees are rejected. But the pure devotees, praying bhaktas, they reject even the other four kinds of liberation. Salokyam. Krishna says, why don't you take Salokya Mukti? The devotees say no. Dhiyamanam nagrananti, vinavat sevanam jana. So other Puranas talk about the moksha being the topmost purushartha, which is actually mala. And Bhagavatam disregards that mala. That is why Bhagavatam is called Amala Purana, where only prema pumartho mahan. Krishna prema is the only object of achievement, subject of study in the Bhagavatam. Krishna prema. That is why Srimad Bhagavatam is called prema pumartho mahan, Amala Purana.
Fantastic, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, why is Srimad Bhagavatam referred to as being non-different from Lord Krishna?
Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. So, anything connected to Krishna is non-different from Krishna, but specifically Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna. There are many things which can be spoken about this subject, but here there is a beautiful verse of the three verses which talks about how Krishna's form is Bhagavatam. The 12 cantos of Bhagavatam are the 12 limbs of Krishna. Pado yadiyo pratamadvitiyo tritiya turtyo gatito yaduru navistata panchamayeva shashto bhujantaram dor vikulantatanyo kantastu namo yadiyo mukaravindam dashamam prafullam ekadaso yastalalata shiropi yadvadasa eva bhati. So this verse, these two verses, which talks about comparison, not just comparison, it is actually Krishna's form with Bhagavatam 12 cantos. Pado yadiyo pratamadvitiyo. The 2 feet of Krishna are the first and second canto of Bhagavatam. Now what does it mean? It is not just, okay, first and second canto of Bhagavatam, 2 feet of Krishna. It means when you are having darshan at the feet of Krishna, you are supposed to think of the pastimes in the first and second canto of Bhagavatam. Then only your darshan at the feet of Krishna is complete. Without having darshan at the feet, without meditating on the pastimes of Krishna in the first and second canto of Bhagavatam, your darshan is only exercise for your eyes. It is not going to be complete. And the third and fourth canto of Bhagavatam you should meditate upon when you are looking at the thighs of Krishna. Tritiya Turyo. When you are looking at the navel of Krishna, then you should think of or meditate upon the pastimes of Krishna in fifth canto of Bhagavatam. So, having darshan of Krishna means meditating on Bhagavatam. So, without meditating on Bhagavatam, without thinking of Bhagavatam, if you have darshan of Krishna, your darshan is incomplete. Like, for example, if I look at someone, I think about the person, then only my looking at that person is complete. Any object, I'm looking at an object, if I don't know about the object, then the eye looking at the object has no value. In the same way, when you are having darshan of Krishna, of course, Krishna's form is Supreme Lord Himself. But the completeness of darshan of Krishna happens only when we meditate on Bhagavatam. On the other hand, when we are studying Bhagavatam, the first canto or second canto, any canto, when you are reading first and second canto of Bhagavatam, then we have to see the lotus feet of Krishna in the Bhagavatam. So then only your Bhagavatam study is actually study. So if you want to have darshan of Krishna, read Bhagavatam. If you want to read Bhagavatam, then have darshan of Krishna.
Beautiful.
So both are non-different from each other. Both are complementing each other. So because both are one and the same. And in the entire Swarupa of Krishna, the most important Swarupa is the face of Krishna. It is 10th canto of Bhagavatam. The navel is the 5th canto. The chest or the heart of Krishna is the 6th canto. Then you have the two arms of Krishna, two shoulders of Krishna. They are the 8th and the 7th and 8th canto. And the Kantastharaja Naumo Idiyo, it is the 9th canto of Krishna, is the neck of Krishna. 9th canto of Bhagavatam is the neck of Krishna. Then Nukaravindam Dasamam Prafullam. So this is where very interesting point comes out. That is the 10th canto of Bhagavatam is the most important. Why? Because when you ask someone to give the photograph, they don't give the photograph of hand or the leg or anything. They give the photograph of your face. Why? Because face is identity. So the 10th canto being the face of Krishna, it is the identity of Bhagavatam. The most important canto, 10th canto of Bhagavatam. Then 11th canto is the forehead of Krishna. 12th canto is the head of Krishna. So in this way, Bhagavatam and Krishna, they are non-different. When Krishna, he left his planet, the day Krishna, or the time or the second in which Krishna left the planet, that time Kali Yuga started. That is the beginning of the age of Kali. So when Krishna, he left, immediately came back. He came back in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is how Krishna and Bhagavatam are non-different. If you have Bhagavatam in your house, then it is actually Krishna being in your house. It is not as good as having Krishna in the house. It is Krishna in your house, personally present in your house. So when you read Bhagavatam, actually you're having darshan of Krishna. That is how Krishne Sudama Bhagade Dharmajnanadivisaha Kalunashta Drishamesha Puranarkodunoditaha. So Bhagavatam clearly says that when Krishna left his abode and he came back in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, Puranarkodunoditaha.
Fantastic, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada, we know when he went to the West, money-wise, he just had, it is said that he had 40 rupees worth of money, and but he had so much confidence and faith in the trunk load of Srimad Bhagavatam books that he was carrying with him. So he had just translated the first 3 volumes, and then Prabhupada made such great sacrifices simply to give Bhagavatam to the whole world. He would sleep an hour and a half or 2, whole night he would practically stay up and translate. And he never compromised in the way he presented his systematic, structured presentation. So how he gives the Devanagari and the transliteration, the Balram font, and the word-to-word meaning and the translation, and then the wonderful ecstatic purports, which he said are actually his ecstasies. So Prabhupada made such great sacrifices, his sleep, his time, everything just to give Srimad Bhagavatam in English language. And also he mandated that in every ISKCON temple morning, Srimad Bhagavatam class has to be given. And I've heard you say in one of your lectures, in fact, the whole morning program, what Prabhupada has given, having Mangalarati Darshan, chanting our rounds, Tulsi Puja, Guru Puja, Kirtan, everything, Darshanarati, everything is simply to prepare our consciousness so we can hear Srimad Bhagavatam attentively in the Srimad Bhagavatam class. So, my question is, what is the position of Srimad Bhagavatam in Srila Prabhupada's worldwide mission?
We should know when Srila Prabhupada, he was just about to get down in America, in the Boston Harbor. It was in the month of September in 1965. He saw the entire skyline of Boston, and he thought of Krishna and he thought of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then he wrote one poem, one bhajan called Markine Bhagavad Dharma. So Markine Bhagavad Dharma, when he wrote, he expresses his mood. He says, "Oh Lord, I don't know why you have brought me here. I think there must be some business. Aiche kichu karya tove yei anumane. There must be some work. That is what my anumana is. Why did you bring me here? Otherwise, why you have to bring me here?" Then he says that the whole purpose of you bringing me here is that the whole world, especially America, is in mode of passion and ignorance. And they think that they are very happy. How to deliver them? I don't know how to deliver them. And I'm going to speak Bhagavatam. I don't know whether they're going to understand or not. Now, I beg you, Lord, that because of your mercy, in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, just if they hear what I'm going to speak, they are going to be delivered from this Rajas Tamo Bhava. So Srila Prabhupada had so much of faith in Srimad Bhagavatam that if somebody hears this Bhagavatam, in spite of they being in the darkest position, darkest region of ignorance, they have not heard Krishna's name and they are all into illicit activities. But still, Prabhupada had so much of faith that if they hear Srimad Bhagavatam, they'll be delivered. Then Srila Prabhupada says, it is by your wish, they are all under the control of Maya. And it is only by your wish, they'll be all released from the control of Maya. So I wish that you deliver them. How will you deliver them? You'll deliver them only when they hear the message of the Lord. So he remembers interesting 5 verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srinvatam Sukata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridantaste Vajrani Vidunoti Surutsatam Ashtapraya Shabadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya Bhagavad Uttama Shtoti Bhakti Bhagavad Nishchihim Tadarajasto Bhav Kamala Bhadeste Chete Iti Ranaviddam Satam Satya Vasiyati Evam Prasannamanaso Bhagavad Bhakti Vataha Bhagavad Tattva Mukta Sangasya Jayate Vidyate Hridayagrantas Chinnante Sarvasamshaya Kshyanti Chasya Karmani Drishtevatan Ishvare. So he remembers the whole process, Abhideya, mentioned in the Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, where what is the influence of hearing Bhagavatam is described in 5 verses. A person who is in so much of ignorance, he just hears Bhagavatam, Syamai Manaya. Then what happens gradually from Shraddha to Sadhu Sangha, Adosudha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti. In this way, he gradually progresses and attains Krishna Prema. Srila Prabhupada had this faith, and he expresses his faith in this particular bhajan called Markine Bhagavad Dharma. And he says, the whole purpose, Krishna, you have brought me here is that I speak Bhagavatam, and people will hear Bhagavatam, and they will all develop Krishna Prema.
So, Prabhu, Srimad Bhagavatam is quite a magnum opus. It is so vast. There are 12 cantos, 18 volumes, 335 chapters, 18,000 shlokas. So, although we intend to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam chapter by chapter, canto by canto, before we actually do that, could you please give us a bird's eye view, an overview of the entire Bhagavatam? I personally struggle in identifying what is the flow of Bhagavatam. In Bhagavad-gita, it is pretty simple. The first 6 chapters, Karma Yoga section, middle 6, Bhakti Yoga section, last 6, Jnana Yoga section, and the essence is Bhakti. But however, in Bhagavatam, there are so many pastimes, there are so many concepts. It's very hard to understand what exactly is happening. How is it actually flowing from first canto to 12th canto?
Very difficult to answer this question because Bhagavatam is not the way in which Bhagavad Gita is presented. Bhagavad Gita is a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. It is a conversation. So there is a flow and it can be identified. But Srimad Bhagavatam, when Vyasa wrote this Bhagavatam, he was in trance. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranitemane pasyat purusham purnam mayam tadavashrayam. So Vyasa went into trance. Bhakti yogena manasi. So then he saw Krishna along with Srimati Radharani, all the gopis, Yashoda, Ananda Maharaj, the cowherd boys, and all these things he saw. He saw the entire Vrindavan. And he also saw behind Krishna there is Maya. Maya tadapashrayam, she has taken shelter behind Krishna. She is not coming in front of Krishna. Then Vyasa saw, what is this Maya doing? This Maya is Eya sammohito jiva atmana trigunaatmakam. She is bewildering the living entity. So, and this bewilderment, this Maya, all the living entities, they are thinking that I am the body, and they are suffering. Then Vyasa, he also saw that there is only one way by which the suffering conditioned souls can be delivered. That is a bhakti. Now, for giving bhakti to people, what did Vyasa do? He wrote this Bhagavatam. Anarthopashamanam sakshat bhakti upadokshaje lokasya jananto vidvans chakre bhag satpata samhitam. This Vidwan, that is Vyasa, he wrote Bhagavatam. So when Vyasa wrote Bhagavatam, what was his condition? His condition was he was drowned in Prema Bhakti. He was completely drunk in the ambrosia of Bhakti, Prema Bhakti. So when you are mad, when you are drunk, nothing is systematic. You don't know what you speak. Of course, there is some connection here and there, but very difficult to identify because it is spoken in trance. That is why you don't find a particular format as you find in the Bhagavad-gita. And Bhagavad-gita is a simple conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. But here there are hundreds of conversations. Right. One inside other, one inside other. So you don't find that format. But still, a format is given. A simple formula has been given in the entire Bhagavatam. What is the formula? Dasamascha vishuddhyartam navanami halakshanam varnayanti mahatmana satenantena anjasa. The whole purpose of every canto of Bhagavatam, every verse of Bhagavatam is to dasamascha vishuddhyartam, to bring out the meaning of the 10th subject matter, Ashraya Tattva, that is Krishna, in a more explicit way. So even though there may be a description of creation in the Bhagavatam, the whole purpose is to glorify Krishna and make people relish the sweetness of Krishna. So if that formula is understood, you can apply that formula in every verse of Bhagavatam, then you can relish it. Okay. Otherwise, a lot of confusion. Yes. They are saying in general that Bhagavate Pariksha, Vidvatter Bhagavate Pariksha. There's what is the test or the Pariksha? What is the exam to qualify one as a Vidwan? Is that he has to speak on Bhagavatam. If somebody is able to speak on Bhagavatam, that means he's a Vidwan. They're very, very intricate, very complex, but every word in Bhagavatam is just meant to make us relish Krishna's sweetness. Even though you have Aishwarya described in the Bhagavatam, the whole purpose of Aishwarya is to enter the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, where we relish the sweetness of Krishna and experience the prema. So that much can be spoken on this.
Okay. So, Prabhu, before we get into 1.1.1, my last question on Glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, I would like to reiterate a question. I had asked a similar question in the first episode related to Bhagavad-gita. So, Srimad Bhagavatam was composed by Vyasa Maharshi thousands of years ago. So, how is it relevant for the people of Kali Yuga now? So, what is the eternal and universal relevance of Srimad Bhagavatam?
Krishna is eternal, and anything which describes Krishna, that is also eternal. Now, Bhagavatam is relevant even today. It will be relevant in future also, because every living entity is hankering for prema. And where is the prema hidden? That is in the Bhagavatam. So till one achieves Krishna prema, religious Krishna prema, there is no way that a living entity can be happy in this world. Everybody is hankering for it. So you may say, what is the practical application of Bhagavatam in our life? Because in our life means love, and we are searching for Krishna prema. Everybody is searching for love, but nobody is satisfied with anybody's love in this world. Even you are satisfied, the person whom you love, they may die. That person may die, and you have to find somebody else. So, but there is one person who is the eternal object of love for everyone, that is Krishna. And that love is hidden not in Krishna, it is in Krishna, in Srimad Bhagavatam. So this prema rasa is there in Bhagavatam. That is why one has to study Bhagavatam, whether it is in the past or the present or the future. Bhagavatam makes you relish Krishna prema. Your love for Krishna can be identified or known to the extent you have love for Srimad Bhagavatam. If you love Bhagavatam, that means you love Krishna. Many times people say, oh, I love Krishna, but have you heard Bhagavatam? No, I'm not interested in that. That means you're not interested in Krishna. And many pseudo devotees, they would just talk of, Prem Karte, Lalasi and all these things. But what your Krishna has done is in the Bhagavatam. He is there as Bhagavatam. So you should hear about Krishna. Like, for example, if you love someone, that means you would like to hear about that person. As simple as that. That is why Yashyamai Shrimanam Krishne Param Purushe Bhaktir Padite Pumsa Shoka Moha Bhayapa. If you have Shoka, Shoka means you think of something which happened in the past and you are troubled now. And you're illusioned, you're thinking, I can be happy, what are the things which can make me happy in this world? And you are fearful. That means you don't have love for Krishna. And by developing the love for Krishna, these three things will not be there. And this Bhagavatam is the immediate solution for all these three things. The moment your mind is engrossed in Bhagavatam, you're actually relishing Krishna. You're relishing Krishna prema. You're drinking the Amrita. Amrita Dravasamritam Vivada Bhagavatam Rasamayam Murho Rasika Bhuvavakaha. You become a bhavaka. You become ecstatic. And where is this shoka? Where is this moha? Where is bhaya? Nothing is there.
Beautifully put, Prabhu. Very well said. So, Prabhu, will get into Canto 1, Chapter 1, Sloka 1. So, I know in one of your classes you had said Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur spent one whole month, every single day, 4 hours, he spoke just on this first sloka. So, I'm so sorry that we don't have that kind of time to go into the depth of the shloka, but still we will try and understand at least the surface level. So, I'll just quote the shloka and then we'll get into it, Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadyasya Yatonvayaditaratas Chartheshva Bhignaswarat Tene Brahma Hridayadi Kavaye Muhyanti Yatsurayah Tejo Vari Mridam Yatha Vinimayo Yatra Trisargom Mrisham Dhamna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. So, Prabhu, the invocation Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, is there any significance why Vyasa Maharshi is calling Vasudevaya? There are unlimited names of Krishna, but why Vasudeva?
Because there are some people who say that Krishna who is described in Srimad Bhagavatam is different from the Krishna who is the son of Vasudeva.
Hmm.
They say Vasudeva has kept the name of Krishna to his son. Like we also keep somebody, a baby boy is born, then say, oh, we'll keep Krishna's name to him. Just because keeping Krishna name to your son doesn't make him God Krishna.
Yeah.
So to remove this misconception which people have in their mind, Vyasa said that Bhagavan, which has been described or who is being described in this Bhagavatam, is none other than the son of Vasudeva. So Krishna, God Krishna, he appeared as the son of Vasudeva. It is not that somebody appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Krishna's name was kept on. It is not ascribed. No. That Krishna who is known as Bhagavan, Krishna is Bhagavan's name, he is none other than Vasudeva's son. That is why he starts with this thing, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Krishna's name is Vasudeva, being son of Vasudeva.
Okay. So, Prabhu, towards the end, Satyam Param Dhimahi. So, Vyasadeva is saying he wants to meditate. He is meditating on Satyam Param. So, what or who is Satyam Param?
First verse doesn't have the name of Krishna in it. So there is an opportunity for people to say, no, just see this first verse doesn't talk about Krishna, it talks about Parabrahman. It talks about Satyam. And now to understand who is that Satyam Param, who is that Satya, you have to see the same book. At the end, the last verse says that Pranamai Harit Param. Harit Param. Nama Sankirtam Yasya Parapapnasham Namo Dukkashanam Pranamami Harit Param. So the last two words of Bhagavatam is Harit Param. The first verse or the last two words of the last verse is Harit Param. The last two words of the first verse is Satyam Param. So you take these two, then you can understand Satyam Param, Harit Param. So who is the Satya Hari? So this is how we establish that Bhagavatam talks about Krishna. Not only that, the Pariprashna Sutra of Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. And the word Hari refers to Krishna, nobody else. And Krishna refers to Hari. And you may ask, why is it so that in the first verse of Bhagavatam, name of Krishna is not mentioned directly, whereas Puranas are meant to describe the Lord directly, not like Upanishads. Upanishads describe the Lord indirectly for a different purpose, whereas Bhagavatam first verse describes Krishna indirectly because Bhagavatam is Rasamalayam. It is a Rasagrantha. Rasagranthas are generally spoken in the mood of a kavya. Rasa can be expressed only through a kavya. Kavya means where you talk about emotions. When you talk about emotions, you cannot directly say, then the emotions will be disturbed. Like when a young boy is in love with a young girl, he would come and tell the young girl, you know, I want to tell you the truth. I love you. He says, what happened? You gone mad or what? There's a particular way. You have to tell things indirectly. When indirectly you say, that rasa increases. So, and the first verse talks about rasa, but in a indirect way. So, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gives 5 meanings to the first verse and then describes that first verse is talking about the Shringara rasa between Radha and Krishna. Janmadhyasyato anmayaditaratah. We take this first phrase. If you go by the Vedantic meaning of this verse, it says that Satyam Param, the Supreme Lord Brahman. He is the cause of this world. He is the maintainer of this world. And he is the destroyer of this world. Janmadhiyasyata. How does he do? Both directly and indirectly. But the same words has a indirect meaning. The kavyatmaka. What is that? Janma adi yasyataha. From whom the Shringar Rasa, Adi Rasa is manifest. And this Shringar Rasa, the Madhuri Rasa, is experienced by Krishna in two ways. Anvayaditarataha. So Radha and Krishna, they experience the conjugal affection which they have in two ways. Anvayad means directly in union. Anvayitaraha in separation. So you require a Rasika like Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur, based on whose commentaries Srila Prabhupada also writes commentaries. That is why in the first canto, first chapter, this verse, first verse, in the commentary, Srila Prabhupada talks about Adi Rasa. Where is Adi Rasa? Adi Rasa is the Shringar Rasa, Radha Krishna Prema Leela. So that is described in this particular verse itself. So externally there is a covering of Vedanta. Internally there is the Shringar Rasa, which is the object of the entire Vedanta, being described in the very first verse itself. So for that, one has to be a Rasika, Bhuvi Bhavaka. One has to be Rasika. Without being a Rasika, we cannot get into the verses of Bhagavatam. So Hari Satyam Param. Now, Satya is Hari. And what is the Satya? What is the truth? That also has two meanings. Externally, one who is existing in all time, place, and circumstances. So, but there is a Rasika understanding also for that. So every verse of Bhagavatam, every word of Bhagavatam is Amrit Rava Samyutam. Every word of Bhagavatam is Prema Varsha Akshara. It is like a cloud from which Prema is trooping, oozing out.
So, Prabhu, very nicely you talked about not only Satyam Param, but Janmadhyasya Yato and Anvayad Itaratas Chartvesh Abhignya. So, if you can also please highlight the few other aspects of Satyam Param, Prabhu, Swarat, Tene Brahma Hridayadi Kavaye, like that, the remaining ones.
Okay. The first verse has, every word has 5 meanings. I don't know what to describe that. But still, since you asked, I'll highlight on certain things only.
Yes.
Now, Satyam Param means the Krishna who is absolute truth. And that is the Swarupa Lakshana of Krishna. That is absolute truth, Satyam Param. And other aspects of Krishna, which are described here, they are Tatastha Lakshanas. That is the secondary aspects of Krishna. That is, he is a cause, creator, maintainer, destroyer. Satyam Param. Anvayad itarascha, itarataha cha. So Krishna creates this world both directly, indirectly, and cha means it refers to time. That means creation is done how he is the ultimate cause, he is the immediate cause, and he is also the efficient cause of this world. I'll just give a small Vedantic understanding. That is, how is this world created? Example is given that of a potter. The potter, the wheel, and the mud. All three are required to create a pot. So Krishna is the potter of this world. And he is also the mud in the form of material energy. That is Upadana Karana. And ultimately he is the wheel, that is the time. So in this way, he is the cause of everything in this world. So since he is the cause of everything, Anvayad Dharataha Cha Artheshu Abhignaha Swarat. He is Abhigna. Abhigna means he knows everything. Since he knows everything, he is Swarat. He is totally independent. He can do anything, but still be God. He can steal the vastra of the gopis, and still he can be God. So it's very difficult for people to understand how can Krishna be God, he is stealing the vastras of gopis, he is telling lies, and he is dancing with other women and women who are married women. He is dancing with them, he is doing ras with them. He can do anything. He is Swarat. Still he can be God. You may be the best person in the world, still you are not God. So, Artesha Vigna Swarat. Tene Brahmaradaya Adikave Muhyanti Sureha. Like as you were told, the first verse was commented by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur for 1 month, speaking 3-4 hours a day. It's not possible, but still giving some glimpses of it. Tene Brahmaradaya Adikave. Adikavi. Brahma's another name is Adikavi. So what did Krishna do? Brahma, that is Vedic literatures, were manifest in the heart of Brahma, who is Adikavi. Now somebody may say, we never saw Krishna speaking knowledge to Brahma. Yeah, he spoke. Within the heart he spoke. Tene Brahmaradaya Adikave. Adikavi, Brahma. In spite of Brahma being given the Vedic knowledge, Muhyanti Suryaha. He was bewildered. The 10th canto we find Brahma being bewildered by Krishna. Why he got bewildered in spite of Krishna giving Vedas to Brahma? Because Krishna wanted to teach something which is hidden in the Veda, which is Veda Guhya, which is secret in the Veda. Not only secret in the Veda, it is secret to the Veda also. What is the thing which Krishna wanted to give to the entire world through Brahma, in spite of he giving entire Vedic knowledge to Brahma? What else is there which is secret to the Veda? That is, he wanted to herald to the entire world that my sweetness is more superior to my opulence. So Brahma thought God should be great. So how is this God, Krishna, sitting in the middle of all the cowherd boys who are sitting like the rolls of the flower, lotus flower, and they are feeding him chuta. One cowherd boy, he took samosa, which one boy was chewing it, plucked, and then put it in mouth of Krishna. And Brahma got shocked. Yajnambukishwara, he's this easy God or what? He's eating chuta of someone and he's happy along with everybody, cowherd boy. How can he be God? God is great and he should be great. If he's not great, how can he be God? So Krishna wanted to prove to Brahma and through Brahma to the entire world that God is not great. He is sweet. His sweetness is more superior to his greatness. He is willing to give up his greatness or his majesty to relish his sweetness. What is the use of being so great if you're not happy? So Krishna wanted to prove to the entire world that I am happy with my cowherd boys and the gopis, and I got sweet relationship with them. And my greatness you give with you. So that is the mood of Krishna. Tene Brahmadaya Adikaviya Muhyanti Suryaha Tejova. They are completely bewildered, like no Muhyanti Suryaha. Tejovar. To see fire as water when you are going in the forest or a desert, when you see some mirage, you think it is water. Sometimes you see water as fire and fire as water. Ita vinimeta prasargamrisha dhamna svena. He is beyond this prasarga, means which is made up of 3 modes of nature. Prasargamrisha dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. So he is there in the spiritual world where there is no kuhaka. This is one of the meanings. The first meaning is in general God, Brahman. Second meaning of Krishna. Second meaning is not talking about Krishna. Janmadi yasyataha anvayadivrataha. As soon as Krishna took Janma, what happened? He anvayad. He went to Vrindavan, Gokul Mahavan. He went to Gokul. So you can explain in that way also. Third meaning is that of bhakti, and then prema bhakti, ultimately Radha Krishna prema. So these are the 5 meanings which can be derived from it. But because these 5 meanings of this particular verse itself will take a couple of pariprashnas, but we have to go further.
Yes. So what a profound shloka, and also hats off to you, Prabhu. In such a short time, you explained so beautifully and you gave us a glimpse into the depth of the shloka. Thank you so much. So, Prabhu, I was intending to do the next two shlokas also, but in the interest of time, I think we will take that up in the next episode. So now we will move on to Brahmastra, Prabhu. So after such a nice, profound discussion, we will lighten the mood a little bit. So still I'll ask questions related to Bhagavatam only, but a little quirky and little witty kind of questions. So are you ready, Prabhu, for Brahmastra?
Yeah.
Okay. So Narad Muni or Shukadeva Goswami, who according to you is a better storyteller?
It is like you asking me which is better sweet, rasgulla or gulab jamun.
So you would say both, is it?
But still,
Yeah.
I prefer Sukadeva Goswami.
Okay. Okay. So next question. So since you travel extensively, if you could choose any one character from Srimad Bhagavatam to be your traveling companion, who would you choose?
Traveling companion.
Yes.
Apart from Krishna,
Yes, oh, okay. You're going for the best.
because Krishna is always traveling.
Yes,
In
along
our
with
heart, he is there.
yes, yes.
It should be especially from Srimad Bhagavatam itself.
Yes, one character from Bhagavatam.
Very difficult question. If you say pastime, then it's easy to tell, but character. I prefer Parikshit Maharaj himself.
Oh, Jai. Okay, wonderful. So, if Srimad Bhagavatam were a movie, which pastime would you like to direct?
I would like
Krishna teasing Rukmini.
Oh, okay, you'll direct that part. Nice.
yeah.
Krishna teasing Rukmini Devi. Okay. So, if we were to give smartphones to all the characters of Srimad Bhagavatam, who, according to you, will use WhatsApp the most?
That means who according to me would be
Yeah, using WhatsApp the most.
conversing.
Yes. Yeah, correct.
I am always on WhatsApp.
So, which character would use?
Sukadeva Goswami only.
Okay, communicating with everybody. Okay, nice. Next one. Actually, I wanted to ask you this for so long. So through Pariprashna Brahmastra, I'll ask, how do you prepare for giving a Srimad Bhagavatam class? Do you have a set procedure how you prepare? Your classes are so wonderful.
I have a set procedure, that is, I read 4 verses before, 4 verses later, after that verse, which I'm supposed to speak on. For example, I have to speak on some words, specific words. I read 4 verses before and 4 verses later. Number 1. And then I'll read Srila Vishwanath Thakur's commentary, along with Srila Prabhupada's commentary. And then, of course, it's a secret. I knew that the previous speakers would have not touched on certain points. So I'll take those 4 verses and then speak certain points which they have not heard in the previous class. Everyone likes to know something new. So almost like 15-20 minutes is over by that. And then speak about the particular verse and its connection with the coming few verses. Especially the connections of one verse to the other verse. That I would like to highlight. I make notes for that only, nothing else.
Okay.
And if more time is there, then I would like to take each verse, each word of the verse which I'm supposed to speak on, and find if that word is somewhere else repeated, or in some other shloka if that word has come, and describe the significance of that particular word in every verse, in that particular verse. So that consumes a lot of time.
Yes.
I try my best to stick to the verse,
Okay.
not go around the world. No. If we keep that subject matter intact, then people's attention is also intact. These are certain features.
Thank you, Prabhu. I thought maybe it's quite a personal question, but you are very transparent and open with it. Appreciate you sharing that. So next one verse that you think everyone should know by heart from Srimad Bhagavatam. Everybody should memorize this shloka.
Tattenukampa susamikshamaano bhunjanameva vipakam hridvakupadarvidham namaste jivetayo muktipate sadhayava.
Very nice, Prabhu. Fantastic. So that's the assignment for all our viewers. They can by heart. So Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad-gita, what's closer to your heart?
Bhagavatam is more closer to the heart and Bhagavad-gita is more closer to my.
Good use of diplomacy. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear Bhagavatam?
I have to speak on it.
You want to verify. Nice. How long could you go without reading Srimad Bhagavatam?
Not even a day.
Jai, very nice. What according to you is the most difficult canto of Srimad Bhagavatam to understand?
Fifth canto.
Fifth canto. Why so, Prabhu?
Talks of creation and mystic way of presenting the creation.
Okay, Vedic cosmology and something. Okay. Which canto do you personally revisit the most?
10th canto.
Okay. Do you have a most memorable Bhagavatam class, one that you have attended that somebody else was giving? And also along the same lines, do you have a most memorable Srimad Bhagavatam class that you have given?
Most memorable class when I used to attend Mayapur when I was a student, I not had joined ISKCON full time. I used to attend Bhagavatam classes by Daram Prabhu. He used to speak on the 10th canto very nicely. I used to relish them a lot at that time. Maybe because at that time I was not speaking.
Okay.
And I giving Bhagavatam class, there are plenty of occasions. It all depends on the audience. If the audience are Rasikas, then I would relish. Many occasions are there. But especially when I go to Pune, the brahmacharis are very sincere, very, very advanced in relishing Bhagavatam. And they, more than that, they have high expectations from me. So I had to fulfill that expectation. So that voltage becomes higher because of their expectation, because of the audience, not because of me.
Wonderful.
That's
okay. Last one, Prabhu. If Narad Muni had a podcast, what do you think he would call it?
You prefer Pariprashna after hearing this podcast.
Jai. Very nice. So thank you so much, Prabhu. It is such a joy listening about Bhagavatam from you. It is such a great fortune actually from hearing your classes to having this conversation on Bhagavatam with you is truly, I'm so grateful to Krishna and Prabhupada. So looking forward to the entire journey, Prabhu. I really, really appreciate that. So Hare Krishna, dear devotees, we have just barely scratched the surface of Srimad Bhagavatam. We just got into 1.1.1. Still, we have the remainder of the chapter. In fact, chapter 1 is titled Questions by the Sages. So what are the questions that they are going to ask? How many questions they are going to ask? And who is going to give the answers? What are those answers going to be? So there's so much more to get into the next episode. So please come back, revisit, and also please tell everybody that something like this is happening in Pariprashna, where we are very systematically discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. So we will see you very soon in the next episode. Until then, as always, stay inquisitive and stay Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.